Hey everybody, it's the coach. This is Madden Football on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got a great one on tap between the Tennessee Titans and the Cincinnati Bengals. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Named for the legendary coach and co-founder of the Bengals, here's a good look at Paul Brown Stadium on the riverfront in Cincinnati. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Tennessee Titans and the Cincinnati Bengals. Hi again, everyone. I'm Brandon Gaudin. To my left, Charles Davis. And, Charles, you focus on this Bengal team entering play. They come in pretty desperate here for a win as they've started the year 0-5.
And it seems way too early to start talking about hot seats. But guess what? When a team is 0-5, people start wondering about their jobs.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Titans, they've come in on a nice run of recent form, 4 wins out of 5.
And it's the defense that's really the star of the show. A terrific game last week. They got a shutout on the road. And that's something that doesn't happen very often nowadays.
Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25.
Let's go.
They'll look to throw on first down to Josh Rosen. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down. And a look now at the Cincinnati offense.
Out of the backfield is Joe Mixon, and he was a valuable commodity coming out of the University of Oklahoma because of his ability to be so versatile. Can run it inside with power, gets to the perimeter, and can outrun people. Catches the ball not only out of the backfield, but you can split him out just like he would be a receiver. And I think if he wanted to dedicate himself, he'd be an all-pro kick returner.
And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
Yeah, it was nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Brian Burns, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. A good return there, call it 13 yards. And it'll be Titan football. So here are the Titans now for their first drive. They'll be led out by their quarterback. Out of Oregon, it's Marcus Mariota.
Marcus Mariota's skill set can help continue to evolve the position of quarterback in the NFL because his ability to run with the football, you may not utilize it as little as other coaches have in the past. You may emphasize that part of the game a little bit more.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Watch the twist. You gonna take. You got take.
Now the former Terrapin, this is Ty Johnson. And he puts his head down and gets up to the 42 for a gain of about 6. Pretty much unreal, not just in terms of yardage, Charles, but also throw in the 3 touchdowns as well.
When you put the whole package together, I can make you a pretty good guarantee right now. He's going to see a few more people in the box every time he lines up.
Yeah, I don't think that the defense has any choice. They've got to stop him. Can't let a repeat performance like that.
Agreed.
And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Alert three. Check.
Following the penalty, it's Johnson.
Check 26. Check 26.
Only a yard on the gain there, and that'll set up 3rd and 13.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
An explosive 38-yard pickup.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great. And what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. On 2nd and very short, Mariota. Nowhere to turn this time, and he goes down. Sacked back at the 29. Carl Lawson able to record his 5th sack of the season. Mariota will need a big play after the sack as the Titans come up 3rd and long.
Mike 5-4.
From the gun, Mariota. And this is caught at the 8. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Well, they're piecing together a nice drive to start this one. Seems pretty scripted and pretty successful so far.
And I think they did it without our help. Because you remember when we sat in the production meeting with them to talk about this, and hey, you guys didn't come out of the gate. I know I offered my help with a few plays, and they didn't seem to want it.
Offer mine.
You were the smart one. Whatever they're doing, though, it's working really well.
Good yardage on 1st down. Now can they punch it in on 2nd and goal? They'll run it with Johnson, and he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down, so let's see what this is about. So reverse the celebration. We'll see if they have something else in their bag of tricks.
And isn't that always tough to watch when they score and you see the excitement, and then when they realize those points aren't going to count? Can they get it back together and find their way back to the end zone?
To Johnson again. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. It's a pickup of 3, but still a little work to do on 3rd and goal. 3rd and goal, Mariota. And it'll be intercepted. Picked up by Jesse Bates. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
Gets this to the 24 for a gain of 4.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
Now Joe Mixon. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2.
Back-to-back 4-yard runs. Now, look, if they just do that all the way downfield, ball ends up in the end zone, but that's a little difficult to do.
Yeah, I think now 3rd and 2, that defense ready to stiffen up and stop that run. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape, and that is not going to get it done. That'll back him up 2 yards and also bring up 4th.
And how about that, partner? That happened in a hurry. Sudden, explosive, gets into the backfield and spills the play.
And he was AFC Defensive Player of the Week last week because of plays just like that. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Well, first look at the NFL scoreboard comes from the Motor City. Early lead in that one for the Packers. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here. And this will go for 5 up to the 33. Getting the sense, Charles, are going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their jobs when the lights come on.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the former first-round pick, Demarius Randall. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. First quarter, and now he already has 2 interceptions.
Yeah, he's got to guard against being tentative from this point forward, though. He's got to still make the right reads, make the proper throws. I've seen guys in this league.
The ball comes out, but this will fortunately wind up out of bounds. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. To throw is Rosen. Powers through. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down. No score after 1 on EA Sports.
Rush in.
Mixon with a first down carry. And he's taken down after a gain of 3 as they move it from the 22 to the 19.
Vision is so important for the man in the middle because his ability to look through all the clutter that's happening in front of him, diagnose a play, and then go make it and finish it, that's when the great ones know that they...
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
We call that sack flush.
And they're picking up right where they left off with the shutout that they pitched last week. A huge part of that, this pass rush. They know how to get after people.
Offensively, good luck finding some man. And he's going to go down again. Brian Burns in there to get him. And on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
That's 3 sacks now, and that's not much of a surprise to me, nor should it be to you. This team, they lead the league in sacks.
Yeah, they do. This is something that we are starting to witness time and time again.
Go, boys, bring it up.
Well, this winds up an empty possession. Everything looked okay. He just never got the ball on target. And knowing him, he'll be disappointed with that effort.
They begin the drive with Johnson. And he goes out of bounds. It looks like right at the 50. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2.
I'd say it's pretty good strategy. If you throw interceptions on back-to-back drives, let's see if the running backs can handle the ball a little bit, get things going. And also, you motivate your offensive line. I think they're in the mood to fire out and hit someone.
I thought the defense, though, might be a little more prepared for that run. Pretty good gain on the ground. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Exactly what they needed right there because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
The first down carry here for Johnson. And he's able to get this one down to about the 40. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. From the 40 now on 2nd down. Mariota, he finds his man Johnson. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 24-yard line.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time. Hey, when you get good yardage like that on first down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense, but I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
From the 16, Mariota looking end zone, but it's incomplete. You got a young quarterback, maybe that's just an example of a growing pain for him.
I think you're right about that because when the game starts to move fast and it moves quickly on him, a lot of times they fall back on what they know best, their arm.
He'll be hit and taken down at the 21. Carl Lawson in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
So still no touchdowns in the first half, but we do have some action on the scoreboard with the field goal.
So maybe now the mentality changes in this game because anytime you get to the red zone and if you don't come away with 6 points, you feel like it's a disappointment. In a game like this one, being able to kick field goals means you're right there.
The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, well, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
And it looks like a pickup of 6. That leaves them with 7 yards to go on third down. Now, the Bengals on third down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 7. Play action here with Rosen. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Nick Kwiatkowski able to record his 5th sack of the season. The Bengals bring out their punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Here's Jackson. 1:53 remaining in this first half of play. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. And across midfield he goes and into Bengal territory. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. On 2nd down and 4, Mariota. And he slings one that's incomplete. So he's 3 for 7 throwing the football right now. Not an awful start, but also not the sharpest of starts.
No, I would agree with that. But if you're a confident quarterback and to play that position, you have to be. You just act like there's something wrong with the wind currents or something wrong with the ball.
It is not you. Keep throwing. That timing usually develops.
7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. Johnson.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
The Titans going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a tick under a minute to go before half.
54's Mike. 54's Mike.
On 2nd and 7, Mariota. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
Now Mariota. Man open, it's Moss complete. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. Could we get a touchdown in this first half after all? It's 1st and 10. Now Tennessee going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this first half. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Mariota going for it all. Got a man, and it's taken in for a Titans touchdown.
Good job.
Ty Johnson, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Titans are able to extend their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Joe Mixon and the rest of his offense making their way back onto the field. They haven't been able to get him on track. They haven't been able to get this offense on track. No points so far.
Maybe it's time to start doing a few different things. Throwing the ball a little bit, maybe featuring other people touching it for a while, and then you get a chance to come back to him when things have changed a little bit. They have to make an adjustment.
There's still time for him here as we sit in the second quarter.
All day, every day, any day.
On 2nd and a couple. Rosen. That's complete to the Memphis man, Anthony Miller. The Bengals going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. From the gun, it's Rosen. He gets this in the hands of Mixon. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. And this offense going to elect to burn a timeout with 5 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. So on now is Brandon McManus. He has hit from as far away as 57, but that was in Denver. This will be spotted just shy of midfield, a 59-yard attempt. And this one will not get there. It's off to the left anyway. It's nope. We now proceed to the start of the second half. So we reach halftime here in a 10-point game. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line.
Let's go.
And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Again, it's Johnson. Oh, nice spin.
Oh, that brought back bad memories.
2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
Back-to-back runs, I'd say that encompassed maximum effort from minimal gain.
Minimal yardage, and now they're going to need something more than minimal on this play coming up. On third down, Mariota. And the catch made by Johnson. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. That's a first down pickup for Tennessee on a gain of 10.
And this is why trying to cover the angle route is so difficult. Anyone playing the linebacker position, when they see a running back out of the backfield widen because he heads towards the flat first, oftentimes you widen too much and overcommit. He cuts up inside, and this is what we saw there. A nice pickup for a first down.
And he'll scratch out only about a yard up to the 32. On 2nd and 9, Mariota. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Trey Hendrickson in there to bury him for a loss of 11.
They need to stop to get back into this game, and here's one right to start the third quarter.
Yeah, anytime you go to the lockers with that 2-3 score deficit, you're right. You need that stop, get the football back, and they've done just that.
Series to series, play to play.
Mariota to throw it. Over the middle, complete. It's Clayton. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. That's one heck of a third down conversion, a pickup of 39. I guess that answers the question of whether or not they're going to try to play conservative and protect this lead in the third quarter.
And I think this is something we're seeing more and more of in the NFL. Teams not playing to protect leads, teams playing to extend them.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Mariota. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off at the 21. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. From the 21, it's 2nd and 10. On the toss, Mixon. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. A second down play results in a loss of 2 yards.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 36. And they will finally put it into the return, but not until he takes it back all the way inside the 10-yard line. They had him back deep, got the interception, and now they start inside the 10.
Partner, forget starting inside the red zone. They're inside the green zone. From the 10-yard line in, a lot of teams call it that because that's the money zone. Get it into the end zone and make your cash.
Now a timeout being called as there's an injured Titan down on the field. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. Good yardage on first down. Now can they punch it in on second and goal? And it's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Tennessee. A 1-yard touchdown reception. And the Titans capitalize on the short field as they take it.
Pass complete to number 89. Touchdown, Tennessee. The kicker on for the point after.
They had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for. And this touchdown will count. Extra point safely through. And that makes our score 17-0. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. They're down 17-0, really needing to find that offensive spark on this drive as they have it with a 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. From the gun to give to Mixon. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line.
Well, if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Here's Rosen. And that is incomplete. Another drive comes and goes. Still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. But you just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
The Bengals bring out their punter now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. And this punt sails over the sideline. And the spot, it looks to be right at the 25-yard line. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. We've seen him be good so far. He's hoping to continue that trend here in quarter number 3.
And typically when you see guys running it this well, they see the game in slow motion, don't they? They see the cuts happen. They see the blocks happen. They feel really good about their vision. And then they use their legs to find that open space.
And he's had some good help up front to boot. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Here's Johnson. He's been busy this afternoon. And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go. A nickel look now for the Bengals as they try to stop him here on 3rd down. They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. 13 yards is the pickup for Tennessee and a 1st down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Now on the heels of that run by Johnson, here's another 1st and 10. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he got blown up, losing yardage on the play back at the 44. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this.
Now, I know I'm supposed to praise the defense for a very nice play. They stopped him for a loss of yardage. But forget that. Did I see two running backs on the field, in the backfield at the same time? This is old school football. Love it.
57 to Mike. 57.
They'll try to throw now. Mariota throwing left side here, and it's complete. And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield. And the Bengals grab it. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
Here we go, D. All day, defense, all day.
On third down, Johnson. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. They have the first down with that gain of 4 yards. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. They stay on the ground on first with Johnson. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the third quarter of action. 3 quarters have come and gone. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. On second down, Johnson. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Mariota now to throw on first down. Johnson's got it complete. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. The Titans get 14 yards there and move the chains as well. Mariota now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Mariota now. That is caught at the 7-yard line. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. I think you'd have to say defensively, these guys are doing their job pretty well, right?
Yeah, we talked about them holding them under 20 points, right, on defense. And they've done that. They've held them. The problem is their own offense hasn't answered their challenge, which was to score more.
Yeah, exactly. I remember you saying magic number was right around 20, and the offense has been the issue. You're right. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a first down. Great mix of play calling so far. 3 runs, 3 passes. All 3 passes have been completions. 1st and goal.
I think on defense now, you have to almost take...
And he gets in. Touchdown, Tennessee. Ty Johnson, his 10th touchdown of the season, 2nd of the game. And the Titans are able to extend their lead. Sometimes a group that gets overlooked, certainly. The offensive line, right there, they really helped with that score.
Didn't they tell us in our meeting that when we score touchdowns running the ball, that means the offensive line actually scored first by moving people back beyond the end zone? We saw evidence of that on that play.
Fielded about a yard deep. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Decent start to the drive, but let's face it, they need a lot of things to go right in a short amount of time, down 3 scores.
Yeah, they're going to run their 2-minute offense here in this game, but this is for future games. Can they get better and be ready for the next time, hopefully with a chance to win?
And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down. Rosen now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. And boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. And the trend continues here in the 4th like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
Now they'll try to convert on 3rd and 6 after the 4-yard completion. This is Mixon on the draw. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Oh, boy, he fielded it right on the goal line. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. With this lead and the football, things obviously looking good, but maybe, you've taught me this before, maybe this is where the defense is hoping that the offense helps them preserve that shutout that they've got going.
And it has to be in the minds of the offense that they know how rare it is to get a shutout. So take care of them, protect them, take care of the ball, move it downfield, run the clock down. You don't want your defense to have to go on the field again the rest of the game. Reward them.
They got 2 of the 3 they needed there. Leaves them with 3rd and just a yard. On 3rd down, it's Johnson, and he's going to have the first down yardage to the 35. Got what they needed there. The drive continues with a 9-yard pickup. Now Tennessee going to use the second of their timeouts. That's going to leave them with just 1 remaining here in this 4th quarter. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. They'll run on 1st down. Johnson, and maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Titans in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory. Now a man open down the middle of the field. And all the way down to the 26. A big change in field position there. That's 40 yards on the catch and run. Boy, another big play late here for an offense, Charles, that certainly has had its fair share of big plays.
Coverage has been a problem all game long. And I would say that going along with that has been confidence. Because even if they had the right coverage, they've still dented them. And now it's been a real issue for them during this game.
An 11-yard pickup for the Titans and a first down. They'll run it with Johnson. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. Now the Titans will use their 3rd and final timeout. And as the 2 teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. On 2nd down, it's Johnson, and he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. And, my friend, I think it's safe to say that this game is pretty much deceased at this point. It's taken a knee, so to speak.
It is definitely this victory formation. Take the snap, take the knee, call it a night, call it a game, call it whatever. I agree with you totally. I don't think there's much left to get except for those who want to run up the score.
I knew this was over about a minute ago when you took your stat sheet and just flipped it over your shoulder in the trash can.
Yeah, that's similar to the guys cutting tape off right before the game's over. We know this thing's done.
The Bengals drive about to get going. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this? Pressure comes and down goes Rosen.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
And with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. And they'll get him down here at the 23. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds left to go. On 3rd down, Rosen. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts as they get it with 26 seconds to go in the football game. The Bengals bring out their punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. With it is Jackson. It's a 47-yard punt, but they did give up 10 on the return. And control of the football switching hands here with very little time remaining in this contest. Here's the Titan offense now as they make their way back onto the field. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game, and that's always puzzled me a little bit.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL.